Good morning and welcome to Newsline for Thursday, December 19th, 2013. And you're with me, Surapan Lautaranarit. In today's top stories, a total of 50 countries are encouraging all factions in Thailand to follow constitutional and democratic means in resolving political conflicts. And on the business front, more than 23 billion baht is expected to circulate in Bangkok during the New Year festival. Now let's take a look at today's headlines. Prime Minister Yingluck visited northeastern provinces on Wednesday to follow up on the government projects being undertaken in Surin, Srisaket, and Yasothon. Prime Minister Yingluck traveled by train from Surin to Srisaket to inspect the train service on the northeastern route amid tight security. Earlier, the Prime Minister was inspecting the readiness of Surin Pakdi Airport as the government prepares to open it for commercial use to accommodate tourism and trade. Ms. Yingluck then traveled on to Yasothon province to inspect a project to promote organic onion farming by local farmers. Ms. Yingluck also went for a ride on a tractor used by farmers in the project before leaving Yasothon for Roi Et province. Ms. Yingluck earlier visited Buriram to follow up on the province's development projects. Upon her arrival, Ms. Yingluck was given an overwhelming welcome by the provincial governor, civil servants, and about 2,000 locals who handed her flowers to express their support. She also traveled to a school located 100 kilometers away by car in Nang Rong district to inspect a One Tambon, One Product or OTOP project before joining a meeting of provincial officials where she was briefed on road construction projects. The construction is expected to cost around 25 million baht. Prime Minister Yingluck has reaffirmed that she will not quit her post until the general election is over and a new government is formed. The Prime Minister clarified her reasons for staying in power in her online media message, saying that the cabinet acts as a single unit and its members are taking joint responsibilities. Thus, when the House dissolution takes place, the Prime Minister and cabinet members have to remain in their positions until the next administration is formed, as stated in sections 171 and 181 of the Constitution. The Prime Minister said she would do the best of her ability to assist the Election Commission in organizing the national polls scheduled for February 2nd in transparent, fair, and peaceful manners. Prime Minister Yingluck said she has not completely ruled out the resignation option, and she is always listening to all opinions, majority or not. However, such views must conform to the boundary of the kingdom's democracy under the constitutional monarchy. The Metropolitan Police Bureau is gearing up for major protests planned for December 19th to 20th by the People's Democratic Reform Committee, or PDRC. Metropolitan Police Chief Kamronwit Thupgrajang said police will continue to handle demonstrations in a peaceful manner and that violence is unlikely to erupt during the rallies. The Center for the Administration of Peace and Order, or CAPO, has also assigned the police to manage the traffic at rally sites to minimize the impact on Bangkok commuters. PDRC leader Suthep Thaugsuban earlier announced that rallies would be held on Thursday and Friday ahead of a massive protest on Sunday in a bid to topple the Yingluck administration. Today, protesters will march from Ratchadamnern to the Sukhumvit area via Phetchaburi and Asok. Silom and Yaowarat will be the rally sites on Friday, while no activities are planned for Saturday. The Center for the Administration of Peace and Order, or CAPO, has reported that a total of 50 countries are encouraging all factions in Thailand to follow constitutional and democratic means in resolving political conflicts. Foreign Affairs Minister Surapong Towichakchaikul, in his capacity as head of CAPO, made an announcement saying India, Sri Lanka, and the United Nations were the latest to come out to support the democratic path in Thailand. Since December 9th, 50 countries have made such a stance. According to the Indian Ministry of External Affairs, Thailand is considered an important partner to India. The country therefore wishes to see Thai people uphold the rule of law by holding talks under the constitutional framework or using democratic means to end the current political turmoil. In another announcement, Sri Lanka said it had been monitoring developments in Thailand and expressed support for talks and democratic principles. The country also called for all involved sectors to listen to the people's voices. Meanwhile, UN Secretary-General Ban Ki-moon urged Thailand to refrain from using violence to solve the problem, while commending the Thai government for having taken compromising steps to reduce tensions. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs has announced that no country has issued a warning against traveling to Thailand following the political rallies in Bangkok. According to spokesman of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Sek Wanamethi, 35 countries and 2 special economic zones, Taiwan and Hong Kong, have issued travel notices to their tourists that there have been political protests in Bangkok. Russia, the Philippines, Romania, and the 2 special economic zones have only advised citizens to avoid traveling to Bangkok. Mr. Sek said, however, no country has advised its people against visiting Thailand. According to the Thailand Convention and Exhibition Bureau, from December 3rd to 13th, around 700 Hong Kong tourists canceled their trips to Thailand. 3 meetings have so far been postponed or canceled. Despite the protests, the number of tourist arrivals from January to November 2013 increased by 21%, compared to that of the same period last year. Supreme Commander General Thanasak Patimaprakon has confirmed he is backing the upcoming general election, saying the military is ready to support any mechanism that will benefit the nation. General Thanasak is currently on a visit to the Deep South to give more support to local security officers ahead of the New Year holiday. Prior to his departure, he remarked it would be a good thing if the February 2nd election could take place as planned. However, he insisted that every proceeding must be in accord with the rule of law, and talks should always be the means to thrash out differences. On the military's part, the Supreme Commander said it was willing to provide support as requested, on the condition that it was allowed to adhere to its duty. Many sides were anticipating General Thanasak's clarification in regard to the military stance on the next election, as her confusion about the issue was recently spread in the society. Ramkhamhaeng University faculty and students are demanding a speedy investigation into the killing of a student during a scuffle in front of the university last month. Students have issued a statement saying progress on the case must be made in 7 days, otherwise the student network will stage a protest to seek justice for the death of a 17-year-old student. They demand that a culprit behind the fatal attack must be identified, and police's clarification over the lack of their presence on the day of the incident needs to be provided. The deceased, Tawisak Pokaeo, was killed during a clash developed after a group of Ramkhamhaeng students confronted supporters of the United Front for Democracy Against Dictatorship near their campus. A group of protesters led by core leader Thawon Seniam gathered in front of the Royal Thai Police headquarters yesterday, urging police to speed up the probe into Tawisak's death. According to the demonstrators and the victim's parents, police have not released any updates on the case, more than a week after the investigation began. The northern province of Lamphun has been preparing its personnel for the realization of the ASEAN Economic Community, or AEC, that will come in 2015. Deputy Provincial Governor Nawin Sinthusa'at chaired a meeting of heads of government units in the province to discuss plans and progress that each unit has implemented in preparation for the regional economic integration. In its steps towards the AEC, Lamphun province has focused its development in 4 areas, namely industry, agriculture, tourism, and education. In industrial development, the province is boosting the quality of its products and production efficiency in order to be able to compete with other ASEAN countries. The province will also promote processing of native fruits and other organic produces, publicize historical attractions, and renovate its old city quarters, and encourage local educational institutions to include studies of foreign languages such as Chinese, English, Lao, and Myanmar into their curricula. Lamphun is home to a large number of workers from neighboring countries, as it is the site of an important industrial estate in the northern region. It is expected that the AEC will open greater opportunities for Lamphun to outdo other larger provinces, such as Chiang Mai and Chiang Rai, in terms of attracting foreign investments and tourists. And that's the end of our first segment. We'll take a short break now. Coming up next, the government confirms that farmers nationwide will receive their money from the rice pledging program. Don't go away. We'll be right back in a minute. Open the world of information. Embrace public participation. Present Thai-ness to the world. New dimension of the government's public relations. The 80th anniversary of the Public Relations Department. Creative media for the society. Mobilizing Thailand towards the ASEAN community.
เมื่อมนุษย์ทำลายสมดุลทางธรรมชาติแล้วมนุษย์ก็เป็นผู้ประสบภัยพิบัติจากธรรมชาติร่วมสร้างอนาคตลดภัยพิบัติระดมพลังพลิกฟื้นคืนผืนป่าในทุกชุมชนทั่วประเทศ
For those who have Android smartphones, you can download a PRD News application by searching for PRD News English in Play Store. That way, you can stay up to date with the latest happenings in Thailand.
And now let's take a look at the business news. Deputy Prime Minister Kittirat Naranong has confirmed that farmers nationwide will receive their money from the rice pledging program as for a week from now. Mr. Kittirat, who is also Minister of Finance, said that the Bank for Agriculture and Agricultural Cooperatives was ready to transfer what the government owed into farmers' accounts in the next 7 days. The finance minister cited the 3-week seizure of the ministry's buildings by anti-government protesters as the main cause of disruption to the process of payment between the ministry and the bank. Mr. Kittirat said as the situation has been back to normal, farmers are able to use the documents issued by the program authorities to withdraw the money from the bank in the next 7 days. Previously, farmers in 26 provinces expressed their frustration with the delay of payment and threatened to block highways in their provinces if the government could not pay them soon enough. The Association of Thai Travel Agents, or ATA, says Thailand will have to regain foreigners' confidence in the country's tourism, as her image has already been tarnished by the current political rallies. According to Mr. Siddhiwat Chiwaratanaporn, ATA president, statistics show that the number of foreign tourists in 2013 increased by more than 4 million, or 15% up from last year. Most of the tourists came from China, South Korea, Japan, and India. However, political rallies are affecting tourist confidence, and many have canceled their December trips to Thailand, causing a drop in tourist arrivals in the final quarter of 2013. Mr. Siddhiwat believed the situation would drag further into the first quarter of next year. The ATA president forecast that next year the number of tourists should increase by 10%, provided that the political situation does not intensify into violence. ATA is planning a roadshow to raise tourists' confidence and to open new markets in Asia, the Middle East, and Scandinavia. The Kasikorn Research Center, or K Research, projects that more than 23 billion baht will be circulating in Bangkok during the New Year festival, with most of the money being spent on food and drinks. As the New Year holidays are around the corner, a survey was conducted by K Research during November 27th to December 6th this year on Bangkok residents' spending behaviors. Out of 500 respondents, nearly 90% are planning to celebrate the special occasion in the face of various problems such as soaring product prices and political chaos. More than half have placed get-togethers with family and friends at the top of their to-do list. Other popular activities include traveling and gift-giving. Based on the findings, the center estimates that the New Year spending will reach 23.1 billion baht in the capital alone, an increase of 8.5% from the same period last year. The largest portion, or 6.5 billion baht, will likely be spent on dining, followed by gift money for family members, vacation, presents, and merit-making. As for factors affecting the celebrants' spending behaviors, prices of goods are cited as the most influential factor, as buyers tend to choose items on sale over others. The respondents also said the current protests were causing difficulties in their commute and in turn discouraging them from shopping in certain areas. Southeast Asian markets were range-bound on Wednesday as nervous investors awaited to hear when the U.S. Federal Reserve would begin unwinding its stimulus program, a major driver for global risk assets in recent years. Bangkok's SET index was up 0.9% at 1,349.34 points yesterday, despite a weaker baht, led by an over 5.8% gain in Advanced Info Service Public Company Limited and a 3.1% rise in Total Access Communication Public Company Limited. Kirada Chan Yingyong, a Bangkok-based strategist at broker Phillips Securities, said the market's expectation of not too bad news from the Fed meeting and smaller foreign outflows have boosted sentiment. The Jakarta Composite Index rose 0.3%, led by shares in infrastructure and finance companies, also despite a fall in the rupiah. The Philippine index recovered from early losses and was trading 0.3% up at a more than one-week high. Investors have been nervous about when the Fed will start tapering its $85 billion a month bond buying program. And now let's take another quick break, but before that, let's have a look at the exchange rates and commodity prices.
ป๊าเมื่อไหร่เราจะได้ข้าวเยอะๆสำหรับเลี้ยงครอบครัวเราล่ะป๊า
ไม่ต้องกังวลแล้วนะครับอันนี้คือข้าวเมล็ดพันธุ์ดีปลอดสารพิษตามพระราชดำริของพระองค์ท่านเพื่อฟื้นฟูนาล้างและเพิ่มศักยภาพของพื้นที่นาเดิมให้ได้ผลผลิตมากขึ้นนะครับ
ท่อง ใจ เข้าถึง พัฒนา My Idol คนต้นแบบจังหวัดชายแดนภาคใต้โครงการประชาสัมพันธ์สนับสนุนการแก้ไขปัญหาในพื้นที่จังหวัดชายแดนภาคใต้กรมประชาสัมพันธ์
For those who have Android smartphones, you can download a PRD News application by searching for PRD News English in Play Store. That way, you can stay up to date with the latest happenings in Thailand.
Welcome back once again, and you're watching Newsline. 9 provinces in the north and northeast have been declared disaster hit zones due to the cold spells. In Phitsanulok, the temperature in the city area was down to between 16 and 19 degrees Celsius. However, the mercury was red at 1 degree Celsius in Nern Perm sub-district in Nakhon Thai district, and frost was observed on grass. In Chiang Rai, wild Himalayan cherry trees were starting to bloom on mountaintops, and full bloom is expected within this month. Locals say a full bloom has not been observed for many years because the weather has not been cold enough. The Disaster Prevention and Mitigation Department has declared Tak, Nan, Chiang Mai, Nakhon Phanom, Nong Bua Lampu, Phrae, Chiang Rai, and Uttaradit as cold-hit disaster areas, after the provinces have been blanketed by a high-pressure cell that resulted in sustained cold temperature. The department was telling the areas and persons afflicted by the cold, and it was coordinating with all sectors to find supplies of winter gear for the afflicted locals. The southern province of Songkhla is organizing a Blue Flag Fair until December 20th with discounts of up to 40% on consumer goods. Songkhla Governor Grisada Bunrat recently presided over the launch of the Blue Flag Fair, which is being held at a fishing pier in Mueang District. The fair is part of the Department of Internal Trade's Blue Flag program, which is aimed at reducing household expenses for Thai people and providing an economic boost for the nation. Within the Songkhla event, there are over 300 booths offering products at 20 to 40% cheaper than market prices. Size 2 eggs are sold at as low as 80 baht per tray compared to the normal price of 120 baht. Vegetable oil is available at only 30 baht a bottle, while sugar is priced at 18 baht a kilo. The fair commenced on December 16th and will continue until December 20th. It is open to the public from 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. daily. And that's a wrap for today's edition of Newsline. For any comments or suggestions, please feel free to email them to us at newsline.nbt@gmail.com. And today we're leaving you with the world's largest congregation of Santa Clauses right here in Bangkok, recently at Bayok Building. I'm Surapal Lautharanarit. Have a good day. สวัสดีครับ